Hello students. Yesterday we have completed our seventh chapter, the interview by Christopher Sylvester. Hope you might have comprehended the major part of it. Today I have sent the question answer, the comprehension part of the interview with multiple exam oriented questions and some value added stuff also being sent by me. Please do it earnestly, or got any sort of problem, any sort of query, any sort of difficulty in form of your questions, the hard words, the paraphrase, please feel free to ask those queries. Today we have got another chapter, a new chapter in hand, the last one that is Going Places by A.R. Barton. Please take your book in your hand, have a pen or pencil also. If you feel at ease, I would prefer also a copy underneath your hand so that you can note down the complicated part of exposition and explanation or the tough words there. Let me talk about the theme raised in the chapter by A.R. Barton while depicting, while writing Going Places. Going Places actually is a story revolves around the adolescent days, teenage, their daydreaming, their fantasies, their so-called hero worshipping, and above all, their hallucination for sophistications there. Each and every teenager, okay, you see, Sweet 16 is the epithet used to denote the teenage there, and rightly so, because each and every teenager, okay, remains indulged, wrapped in some sort of fantasies, some sort of hallucination, some sort of imagination, some sort of fantasies according to her likings and according to her desires there. The story in hand, Going Places, revolves around a girl, Sophie, who perhaps a girl from lower middle class, okay, downtrodden class, suppressed class there, and her father is a biscuit factory worker, and she herself earmarked to work in a biscuit factory. So the bottom line of the theme is that the story by A.R. Barton talks about adolescent days, teenage, that is teenage, their fantasies, their longings, their desires for sophistications, hero worshipping, and their so-called impractical longing and the desires for an opulent life there. Sophie is the protagonist of the story, the main character, the central character is Sophie, a young girl, around 15-16 maybe her age, and her father is a biscuit factory worker. She has got a good friend in form of Jency. Okay, she too belongs to the same lower class or the lower middle class okay, of the society. Both are classmates, both are good friends too, but the similarities end here. Jency, unlike Sophie, is a pragmatic, a practical, a realistic girl who frequently floats on the wings of imagination here and there. But that is a sheer contrast is the character of Jency. Yes, I want you to note down a contrast, a comparison between these two girls. Though friends they are, classmates they are, schoolmates they are, but still they are poles apart from each other. First of all, coming your way is the character sketch, the pen picture of Sophie, and then followed by Jency. I want your utmost attention on that. Be earnest, be heedful, be attentive, be engrossed while I make the exposition of a certain paragraph of the chapter. Sophie, a young girl, she is an ardent daydreamer. Sophie, a young girl who is an ardent daydreamer, who frequently floats on the wings of her imagination, hallucination in the world of fantasies and fairies. She is a girl of a downtrodden class, lower middle class section of the society she belongs to. Her father perhaps a worker in a biscuit factory, and she too is earmarked, reserved, kept aside to work in that factory only. But when we talk about her dreams, her fantasies, oh my God, sky high, sky high. She is an ardent daydreamer, frequently floats in the world of her imagination, or the fantasies, or the fairy tales, okay, on the wings of her imagination there. And her father is a happy-go person, is a carefree person, is an aggressive person, a worker in a biscuit factory. Okay, he is a good person when it comes to the family protection there. Here we go, another character sketch, that is Jency. Jency is a classmate, is a schoolmate, is a good friend of Sophie, but unlike Sophie, she is a realistic, practical, pragmatic girl who keeps her feet grounded. Who keeps her feet grounded and believes in the realistic aspect of life, practical aspect of life, practicality of life there. And even being a good friend of Sophie, whenever she finds Sophie is soaring high, going high and up and over in the world of fantasies or hero worshipping there, she pulls her down, being a good friend of Sophie. This was the compare and contrast of the two characters, Sophie and Jency. Now the explanation coming your way of the chapter. We'll be having the first part of the explanation to be done today. Please get your pen, pencil ready, and your focus, eyes, get them fixed on the chapter going places while I'll read and will make the exposition of the chapter. When I leave now, Sophie and Jency both are coming to home from their school. School is over and they are returning back to their home. What type of conversation going on between these two girls, between two friends? Check it out. When I leave, Sophie the speaker said, coming home from school, I am going to have a boutique. You see, a girl from a downtrodden section of the society, but the dreams are sky high. She is disclosing, sharing her ambition. She is an over-ambitious girl. So you can add this line also in the pen picture of Sophie. She is not only an ardent daydreamer, she is an over-ambitious girl, highly ambitious girl, and really miles away from the harsh realities of life. When I leave, Sophie said, coming home from school, I am going to have a boutique. Boutique, you see, is a shop of the fashionable clothing there. Fashionable clothes are sold on a shop there. The shop is known as a boutique. She wishes to open a boutique. She wishes to own a boutique. She wishes to open a boutique. Jency, linking arms with her along the street, being a good friend of Sophie, both were returning back, having hand in hand together, having hand in hand together, and along the street, looked doubtful. Jency was Jency was skeptical. Jency was a bit doubtful, a bit suspicious whether her good friend Sophie would be able to open a boutique or not, because she knew the financial condition of Sophie's family. Her father hardly was a worker in a biscuit factory, so it won't be easy going for Sophie when it comes to realize her dream to open a boutique there. So she was skeptical. Jency was skeptical about it. Takes money, off, something like that. And she straight away pulls her down. Sophie is pulled by Jency down in the world of realistic, harsh realities there. And she knew that Jency knew that Sophie won't be able to open a boutique so easily, and she is disclosing the vital factors, how she would be able to open a boutique. Takes money, solve. She is making her understand, if you wish to open a boutique, now you will need a good money and some money, a huge money, large amount is needed to open a boutique, and won't be possible for you to earn that money. Takes money, Sophie, something like that. I will find it, Sophie replied. She will find that money. She will arrange that money, okay, to open a boutique. Sophie said, staring far down the street, looking into the future, staring far down into the street, looking into the future. She said that she would be able to arrange that money, okay, sometime in the near future. Take you a long time to save that much. Jancy again pulling her down. Sophie, yes indeed you will be able to arrange that money, but will take a hell of a time, a great amount of time you need to save that much of money. Sophie questioned, okay, was doubtful whether Sophie would be able to save that much of money, okay, quickly, okay, according to her desire. To begin, okay, take you a long time to say, well, I'll be a manager then. The second dream coming your way. First of all, she wanted to open a boutique. She wants to be the owner of a boutique, a shop of the fashionable clothing. Boutique is clothes, okay. And second one, she wanted to become a manager. Sophie said that. Yes, of course, to begin with, to begin my career, ultimate longing, ultimate desire, ultimate aim of mine is to own a boutique. But till I will be able to earn enough, I will be a manager in a firm, in a company, in a factory. Till I have got enough, till I would be able to save enough money. But anyway, I know just how it is all going to look. She knew instinctively that how she would be able to realize her dream soon to own a boutique. They wouldn't make you manager straight off. Again, the realistic, the practical aspect of Jancy's character is highlighted here. She again pulls her down, Sophie down, that nobody will make you straight off a manager in a factory. You need to get some specific skill, some diploma, some degrees, some experience to be a manager, Sophie. Nobody will make you manager straight off. All going to look, they wouldn't make you. I will be like Mary Quant then. Then she transferred her dream from becoming a manager to become Mary Quant. Mary Quant was an iconic fashion designer of UK, United Kingdom there. In 1960s, she was an iconic figure, okay, of the world, and she has got the proud honor, okay, to introduce middies to the girls of the world there. So Mary Quant was a fashion iconic fashion designer, and she wishes to follow the streak of Mary Quant. Sophie, then I'll be Mary Quant then, a fashion designer. Sophie said, and I will be a natural one. And you see, exaggerating, elaborating, you see, Jancy, that the potential I have got, the caliber I have got, okay, you must be knowing that it is natural for me to become as good as Mary Quant. They will see it from the start. The professional of fashion designing, they will see my potential, my talent from the word go, from very beginning. I will have the most amazing shop the city has ever seen. And she repeated the same ambition that she's gonna to own a boutique, she's gonna to open a boutique, which the people of the city never saw before there. Jancy, knowing they were both earmarked for the biscuit factory, became melancholy, unhappy, cheerless, sad, lugubrious, dismal, dejected, unhappy she was. Jancy was unhappy when she saw that her good friend Sophie was getting unrealistic, was getting almost insane, was getting almost nincompoop, nitwit, and she was going away from the realities of life that were harsh. Jancy knew that both Jancy and Sophie were earmarked, reserved, earmarked, kept aside, earmarked, destined to work in a biscuit factory. Became unhappy. Jancy was unhappy, sad, okay, cheerless. She wished, a bit distraught also, she wished Sophie wouldn't say these things. Being a good friend, she wished that Sophie should be more sensible, okay, more sane, more seditious, more witty, and more practical, more realistic. When they reached Sophie Street, Jancy said, it is only a few months away now, so you really should be more sensible, more realistic. And being a good friend, she was suggesting Sophie to become more practical, more realistic. They don't pay well for shop work. You know that your dad would never allow it. And if you really wish to become a Mary Quant or a famous designer, fashion designer there, you got to first work in a shop, and you must be knowing that the workers, employees at the shop, they are underpaid. They are underpaid. They are not given good wages there. Or second thing, your dad, being a bit conservative fellow, orthodox fellow, won't be allowing you to work in a shop somewhere. Or an actress, then straight away Sophie changes her mind, and she straight away discloses another her dream, another her fantasy, that she wishes to become an actress. So we witness a new longing, a new sophisticated desire of Sophie, that she wishes to become an actress there. So throughout of the story we will witness the high soul of Sophie in the world of her fantasy and hallucination there. Her realities have got nothing to do with her impractical, unrealistic dreams there. Now there is a real money in that, yes, and I could maybe have the boutique on the side there. And you see, actresses earn a lot. That is quite evident to one and all, known to one and all. But how easy for Sophie to become an actress there, the future will tell that. And she knew that actresses don't work full day long there. Therefore, on the side job, at the side, she'll be having a boutique there. So she'll be earning by both hands there. Actress she will be, and the owner of a proud owner of a boutique also she would be. In that, actresses don't work full time, and anyway they taught the fashion designer, you know, something is a bit sophisticated. If not actress, if not the owner of a boutique there, and I will be a fashion designer then, like Mary Quant, a famous iconic fashion designer from England in 1960s era, the historical, her old attributes were there, and she was well recognized as the pioneer in fashion designing. Mary Quant, she wanted to become a fashion designer then. You know, something is sophisticated. Dreams of Sophie were always opulent, always prosperous, always sophisticated, always advanced. And she turned in through the open street door, leaving Jancy standing in the rain there. It started raining suddenly, and now the turn of her street where her home was situated had come, and now she got to enter into the street. Okay, and now Jancy would be obviously her home maybe in the next street or the other place there. Now it is a time for saying goodbye to both of the friends there. And now before she leaves, Jancy, she makes her final verdict. Sophie makes her final statement before she entered into her home there. And she turned into the store, living Jancy, if ever I come into money, I will buy a boutique. Done. And that was the last dialogue before she entered her threshold of her home there. She made a last statement in front of Jancy. Jancy, you'll see that if ever I come into money, I would be purchasing a boutique. When Sophie said that statement, one of the family members inside her home might have heard it, and one of the person responded, no, never. A sign of dissatisfaction. No, Sophie, don't purchase a boutique if ever you come into money. Before you purchase a boutique for you, you must purchase a blessed, decent home for us, for the family. That was a correction made by one of the family members of Sophie in her last statement. If I have come to money, thank you very much, and an advance thank was also given by someone in the family to Sophie for purchasing a blessed home for them instead of opening a boutique. Sophie's father was scooping a shepherd's pie into his mouth as hard as he could go, his plump face still grimy in sweat. Sophie's father, a new character has come into the story. Sophie's father, perhaps a biscuit factory worker, a daily wages laborer. He has recently returned back from his factory, and he was taking food. Generally, workers or the laborers are having the tendency to go hungry extremely. And being the appetite was enormous, he was scooping, eating very fast, scooping and gulping very fast his food. Shepherd pie was there, in the dish there. And obviously being a laborer, okay, his body was sweating and his body was grimy. Here refers to a bit clumsy, a bit bizarre, a bit dirty, a bit shabby, a bit dingy. His body was perspiration all the way through, sweating all the way through, and his body was still grimy, dirty. And sweat, obviously being a laborer, okay, sweating all over the body could be seen. Mark from the day. Mark from the day here refers to the entire day labor which he has done in the factory, that was quite evident all over his body. Mark for the day, produced from the day labor. Mark from the day, produced the sweating caused from the day labor which he performed at the factory. Where he was a laborer, where he was a worker. She thinks money grows on trees, don't she? Dad settled Derek, hanging on the back of his father's chair. Even the little Sophie has got two brothers, one younger, second one obviously elder. Elder brother's name is Geoff, younger brother's name is Derek. Little Derek, who was hanging on the rail of the chair where father was taking food, he made a comment that, you see father, what Sophie thinks that the money grows on trees. Even the littlest one knew that how insensible his elder sister was. She thinks money on trees of father, their mother sighed, and when the mother of Sophie listened, even she took a deep breath of dissatisfaction. She too was dismal, seeing her daughter's Sophie bit insensible, bit impractical, bit unrealistic. Now see the interior. Sophie watched her back stooped, bent down, tilted over the sink and wondered at the incongruity, irrelevance of the delicate bow knot, K-N-O-T. Now mother may be wearing an apron while washing the pots or the utensils in the sink. The manner she was bending ahead, bending forward, stooping forward, she didn't like it. Or even the knot of her apron, okay, was not tied, fastened, tied properly. She didn't like it. She didn't like the attire and the stoop or the bending forward posture of mama. She wanted her mama to be more fashionable there, Fasten her apron strings, the delicate swimming bow, and the crooked back. When she noticed the delicate looking absurd, delicate here, looking absurd. Mama, being a household lady, she must be carrying out some rigorous hard work all the way through from morning till night there. Therefore, she may be a frail lady. Sophie's mother may be a frail lady, structure of bones all the way through. Therefore, when she noticed, when she washed, the mother was stooping forward, bending forward to wash the sink. Even the knot of her apron from the back, it was not fastened, tethered, tied properly there. She didn't like it at all there. So far, the outside the world was so rosy, so sophisticated, and the moment she entered into the home, it was all messed up, all shackled, all the dreams were shattered. Both the evening had already blackened into the windows. All the dreams of Sophie were shattered. Evening had blackened into the windows. It means all the dreams of Sophie were shattered there. And the word meaning, because it was a twilight time, the darkness started descending down. From the stove and windows, and the small room was steamy from the stove because the food time, meal preparing time there, and they didn't have any gas there. So a stove runs on kerosene was all afforded by them, so it must be emitting a lot of steam. Stove must be emitting a lot of steam, so steaming atmosphere was there inside there, all over the room where they all were seated there at that moment. And second thing, she didn't like it from the stove, cluttered with the heavy. The room was cluttered by the heavy breathing man. Father is called heavy breathing man. He was so chubby, he was so plump that when he breathes of his father, even we can listen the sound of his breathing, that is cluttered sounded of heavy breathing man, Sophie's father. In his vest, obviously being a level class person, being feeling sweaty, feeling gravy there, he must wear not many clothes, so he was in his vest only, father, at his table, and the dirty washing piled up into the corner. Some dishes, I think maybe used one, okay, for food, okay, were there in the corner. They too to be cleaned up and washed up by mother. So some dirty dishes were piled up in the corner of that room. Means scenario was bizarre, scenario was pathetic inside of Sophie's home. Cluttered in the table and the dirty washing pile, Sophie felt a tightening in her throat. Sophie felt suffocating. She felt suffocated. Oh my God, I can't tolerate that. I can't see this bizarre, that clumsy inside the interior of my home. Oh, suffocating. I can't tolerate. I can't breathe here. And then she went to look for her brother's job, okay, in order to get a change, okay, from these what you can say, adverse condition, gloomy condition. She wanted to go and meet her elder brother Job. He was kneeling. The para changes, and he was elder brother Job. Okay, he was kneeling, sitting on the knees on the floor in the next room, tinkering, repairing with a part of his motor cycle over some newspaper spread on the carpet. He was 3 years out of school and an apprentice, okay, a trainee mechanic traveling to his work each day to the far side of the city. Now the new character has come. That was Sophie's elder brother Job. 3 years before, he might have completed his schooling, and what his profession is right now, he was a newbie. He was a beginner, an apprentice, okay, a trainee in the field of motor mechanism there. And what he was doing in his room, he has there spread some newspaper on the floor, and he himself was sitting on his knees, must be repairing, must be tinkering some broken down part of his motorbike. Being a mechanic, he could tinker, he could repair, okay, the broken down part of his motorcycle at his home as well. But he first spread the newspaper so that the floor may not get dirty while he was tinkering, repairing the broken down part of his motorcycle. And the dirty was taken to his day, and apprentice mechanic, he was a newbie, he was a learner, he was a trainee, he was an apprentice, he was a beginner, okay, in the field of motor mechanism. He was almost grown up now, and she suspected areas of his life about she knew nothing, about which he never spoke. He said little at all there. Job, the elder brother of Sophie, first thing. Second, he was an apprentice mechanic. Two. Third, but as a person, he was a taciturn boy. He was taciturn, introvert. Taciturn, introvert. Who speaks little. Job was that sort of boy there, who hardly spoke there. Taciturn. About TACITURN, taciturn. Okay, who speaks little. Introvert also, we can call him. Far from the city, he was almost grown up and knew nothing about. And because the person Job, the brother Job, never spoke, never disclosed, never shared anything, okay, with the sister, obviously Sophie knew nothing about his task, his profession, his day-to-day life, day-to-day experience, day-to-day meeting of the people, because he said nothing, he disclosed nothing. Obviously, how Sophie will be able to do anything out of that? Which is never spoke. He said little at all. He was a taciturn boy, hardly spoke anything. Okay, at all, ever voluntarily, willingly he never spoke. Willingly, Job never spoke. Someone has to compel him. If anybody wanted Job to speak, compulsion was there, and an outer force was needed, okay, to make Job speak there. Willingly, voluntarily, he never spoke. Words had to be prized out, taken out, taken out of him like stones out of the ground. Simile has been used. Being a taciturn boy, he never spoke. Words came out of Mr. Job's mouth as hard as the stones out of ground. And she was jealous of his silence. Generally, the sister doesn't feel envious, doesn't feel jealous of their brother, but she was feeling jealous, not of the brother Job, but his silence. She wanted him to be loquacious, bit outspoken. He should have shared each and everything with his sister, which he never did. Therefore, she was jealous of her brother Salin's. When he wasn't speaking, it was as though he was away somewhere out there in the world, in those places she had never been, whether they were only the outlying districts of the city or places beyond the surrounding country. Who knew until unless he would speak it? They attained a special fascination, enticement. Unknown things always attract us. The things which are beyond us, we want to achieve those things there. So Brother Job, because of his profession, was motor mechanism. Therefore, he might have visited far and wide places due to his job obligation. But he spoke nothing. He shared nothing about his daily life experience, daily life people whom he met, the places he visited. He spoke nothing. And because of those, and being a highly ambitious girl, over ambitious girl, unknown things obviously attract even a simple guy, simple person. Or if Sophie was a highly ambitious girl, okay, she had a special attraction, fascination, enticement there, okay, towards the unknown, unvisited things, okay, and she wanted to visit, she wanted to meet those people, she wanted to visit those places done by her elder brother Job there. They were unknown to her and remained out of her reach there. That is human psychology, that we people have the fascination, what can say, a craze for those things which are unknown to us, which are beyond from us. Okay, today's explanation time over dear, today's class over. Next time we'll be having the resumption of the story, okay, and we'll come to know various facts about the relationship between Job and Sophie as a brother and sister. Okay, please listen this video capsule time and again, and wherever you got a problem, please feel free to ask me the queries okay, on my WhatsApp number. Thank you, dear.